It's the end of a work day. You've probably talked to 700 clients, 50 vendors, 30 employees. You've talked to your family members, the vet, everyone. Yet you have no time for yourself. And on top of that, as the business owner, you need to stay on top of what's going on in your business. So how are we going to do that? We need to create dashboards for you. We need to give you a quick snapshot of what's going on in the business. Ways to quickly throw up red flags if things are amiss, or also the opportunity to give you a pat on the back if things are going well. Let's create a dashboard together. Coming up next. Hi, my name is Beth Melcher. I own a firm in Northern Michigan called MoneyFit. My team and I, we love business owners. We love their stick-to-itiveness, we like their bootstrapping, and we want to help in any way we can to make sure that they and their companies are both profitable. Because our expertise is in the language of finance, we want to help teach the owner how to speak that language and make sure that the business and the business owner are always talking. So let's get into it. D for dashboard. So what's a dashboard? And why do we care about a dashboard? Well, you guys are familiar with dashboards. This is a picture of my dashboard. Clearly I dribbled some stuff on it. I guess I should have cleaned my dashboard before I took a picture of it. Oh well. Kids, I'll blame it on them. So it's a quick situational display of everything that's going on in your car. If I can get this to show up. Come on. There it is. Bookkeeper, not presenter. I think I'll say that on all these videos. Just remember, I'm a numbers person, not an entertainer. So I'm always trying to make the financial part of being a small business owner more relatable, because people keep telling me the financial piece of it isn't all that fun, which I can hardly believe. I mean, come on, it's the most fun part, right? We can create a dashboard for small business. So instead of maybe tracking speed, we can keep track of your year-to-date sales. It is a report that you can set up pretty easily and look at it every day. Maybe you even want to say, what did we sell last week? Just set up a different date range in your QuickBooks or in your Xero or whatever accounting platform you're using. Maybe instead of engine temperature, you have a display that you manage your cash flow. Maybe instead of RPMs, you want to track how much you owe others. The cool thing about some dashboards now in cars, and also about your dashboards that you can create for yourself, is that there are some customizable things that might suit your industry particularly. Let's say you run a restaurant. You want to track sales by items. You want to see what the hot dishes are and what you are moving more of. Maybe adding top 3 items to your dashboard is something that you want to track. When you study your business and you determine what the most important facets of your business are, you can add those on your dashboard. And if you can stay consistent with pulling the information into your accounting system that you need to measure those metrics, the more consistent your data will be year over year, month over month, week over week. So the trend analysis, the difference, the changes over time in those metrics are going to be really meaningful to you, and you can guide your business that way. Okay, so I've been trying to figure out how to make it so this doesn't make it blue. I can't figure it out, so hopefully it's not too distracting. I'm talking about putting together a meeting where you just brainstorm a list of questions you want to ask your company. I will always say your company is this wonderful, living, breathing organism that needs to be understood like it's a separate thing. I want to encourage small business owners who may have been told that there is a right way to do it. You still have this amazingly powerful internal voice. I want to bring that voice out right now. I want you to have an opportunity to write down, I always kind of wonder what my sales are. Or I always wonder if it's worth having that second location open, or are we going to have enough cash to make it through the winter? Write all those questions down before we start compartmentalizing how we calculate these things and what should be on the dashboard. In this example, I just pulled out an Excel spreadsheet because I like Excel spreadsheets, and put what matters most to our company. How are sales going? What does the pipeline look like? How many calls did we make on new prospects this month? Who owes us money? And then this big question, like, are we profitable? A lot of people focus on the sales numbers all the time. So it's really important not just to look at the sales, but also look at some of the metrics, like margins in between, we'll get to that in a second, that determine whether or not you're profitable. And the one I didn't put on here is, am I drawing the right amount out of my company as an owner? Because that's something that can make a big mess. It might not be something you want to keep on a team agenda, but on the side for yourself, you should track what you're drawing out of the company to make sure that the company can handle that. So step one, sit as a team and write down the questions that you want to ask of your company. All right, so you've got your list of questions. I added my list of questions to the top of the spreadsheet and then created some rows, just again on Excel, that we can use to capture some of the data and answer some of our questions. Something I always want to know is, what have we invoiced so far this month? And how does that compare to plan? So I have some windows open over here in QuickBooks that will help us answer those questions. So what have we invoiced, or what did we invoice in the month of May? If I open this in accrual, which will show me what I've invoiced in May, see that word, that's important. If you don't know the difference in cash and accrual, be sure you check out my AS for accrual video. But this number here, let's swap this out, will show us what we invoiced in Craig's Landscaping and Design in the month of May. This is 41.38. Great month. Previously determined, perhaps during a planning session at the end of 2020, we wanted a monthly invoicing target of $2,750, which means in the case of invoicing, we are over plan by $3,891. So that's good news that you get to share with your team. We want to know then, instead of what's been invoiced, what we have in collections during that same period. So if we switch the accounting method to cash, we can find out what we've collected. I am just going to hit the update button on this, run report, once I've switched it over to cash to see what we've collected. So in May, what we collected in Craig's Landscaping and Design Services was $3,881. So we just take that over to the report. And it's here, $3,881. And perhaps in the beginning of the year, also when we set our monthly cash target for what we wanted to collect in cash from our customers, our target was $2,800. And although I say gap in this case, it would only be a gap if it was negative. So no gap, we are actually ahead of plan by $1,000. The other two things I wanted to answer was, what do we have out there in accounts receivable from prior months, invoices that are sitting out there to our clients who are unpaid? That would be a really important thing to know. And how stale are those getting? Because as they get more stale, the likelihood of collecting them goes down considerably. So we can look at this AR aging summary report. I'm going to click refresh or run report to refresh it. And then include that information over here. You might want to look at things as soon as they're overdue and get on them right away. Just really quickly, we talked about accounts receivable. Don't forget to check your accounts payable. You can pull up your accounts payable report this is QuickBooks Online, whatever your system may be, but look at your aging, look at when things are due. And there's not a lot in this report, but what you can do then is include an accounts payable section in your dashboard. Break it down into when these things are due. Maybe things are due out 3 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, 1 week from now. That way you can stage the cash demand in the next section, which is our review of cash flow. All right, we looked at invoices, we looked at collections, we looked at accounts receivable, we looked at accounts payable, and this is where they all come together. You've got each of these items on your dashboard. Then we're going to put them into your cash flow projections to make sure that you have enough fuel to run on. To me, this is the fuel gauge on your car. Quick visit over to this visual because I think it's important to keep in the back of your mind. You are constantly, as the business owner, converting a potential deal to a booked deal, to money you've collected, to cash that you've paid to your vendors or your employees or your lenders, and then you pay out to yourself. If you don't stay on top of all of these stages of the conversion of a sale into cash to the owner, something can fall. So that's why we've got so many little pieces on the dashboard. So let's walk through the cash flow itself. This is how you build a quick cash flow report for your dashboard. What was the starting cash position of the week? And how much money do we believe over the next week? So this is future looking. Over the next week, we will collect from our customers. We included it already here. It's $241. This is coming in. Then money for payroll. We pull from the payroll report. Then think about what you're going to have to pay out to the tax agencies and payroll tax obligations. That number I put here. Then we need to know over the next week what is due out to vendors. We put that in the accounts payable report. Let's pull that down. So what's left? That means that we have about $7,900 from which we can take an owner draw. We will plan that for $1,000 perhaps, and our ending cash position will be about $6,900. Something to note, you're starting the week at $10,000. You're ending at $6,900. That's a deteriorating cash position. You're going to, as an owner, want to think about making sure the front of your pipeline and your invoicing and your collections strengthens because you're running a little lower on cash. So this section has to be beefed up a little because the expenses are just going to keep coming. The last two metrics we're going to review for inclusion in your dashboard report are two metrics for measuring profitability. The first is gross profit. Gross profit is your total income minus your cost of goods sold. Both profitability and cost of goods sold, we'll do a deeper dive at another time, but very important. Some people only track sales and growth of sales, but I find it much more important to keep a very close eye on margins. How much are you spending to achieve your sales? And you've got to have a nice margin to survive and pay your overhead costs. So the first piece of that, gross profit, $3,652.63. If you pull your profit and loss statement for the month, you can find that just after cost of goods sold here. The second we're going to look at is net operating profit. That is a little bit lower on your profit and loss statement. That becomes after all of your overhead costs. If you go to the very bottom of your profit and loss statement, you'll find it here, $1,677.19 negative in this case. So as you're doing budgeting in your prior year and setting targets, not only do you want to set targets for sales, but you also want to set targets for gross profit and net operating profit. I've included those targets here, and you can measure whether or not you are ahead of goal or behind. So that's D is for dashboards. We're going to do a deeper dive on some dashboard ratios in another video. So in order to catch that, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. You're also welcome to visit our website at bemoneyfit.com. That's BEMONEYFIT.com. I wish you the best and thanks for your time. Bye-bye.